Hey, welcome back everybody. This is BeatTheBush, and today we're going to talk about some FICO scores. Here you see a letter I got from Bank of America. It's back from December of 2013. I got a score of 848 out of 850 from Experian. This score is from Discover, and I got 829 back in October 2014. And they derived this score from TransUnion. A FICO score of over 800 is actually not all that uncommon. Just check out this chart, courtesy of FICO.com. Actually, 18% of the population have a FICO score of over 800. So the most common problem is someone needs to buy a house or a car and they go, oh my gosh, I need to raise my credit score. How do I do that fast? So there are just 3 general things you need to know to get a high credit score. The first one is kind of ironic because you gotta make it seem like you don't really need credit in order to get a high credit score. That is, if you pay off all your loans, you can get a really low utilization ratio. That would boost your credit score. All your loans involve credit cards or house loans, student loans, all of those. The second thing is to make sure you pay your bills on time, all the time. And the easiest way to do that is to set up automatic payments all the time and make sure it comes from an account where it's always funded. The third thing is to always get more credit while you can. If you're asked to increase your credit limit, always allow that to happen. And don't forget to apply for a lot of credit cards. I know if you apply for a credit card, it will actually lower your credit in the short term, but in the long term, it would actually increase your credit limit, which would actually help your credit score. Those are the 3 generalizations. It kind of highlights the spirit that you need to take in order to obtain a high credit score. Let's talk about something more specific. I'm going to list 7 of the most important things that can affect your credit score. The first one has to do with the time since you last opened up an account. The creditors don't want to see you open up an account and then keep on opening up more and more because it might flag to them that, hey, you're just trying to accumulate a lot of credit for some reason. Maybe you're trying to accumulate lots of credit and then spend everything and then run away. The second one has to do with how much history you have, how much time revolving credits has been around. So the ones that you actually use, how long have they been open? Generally, really good reports, you might have them open for years. My credit card might be open for like more than 10 years already. The third one is loan balance to loan amount is too high. That is, if you took out a loan and you're trying to pay it off, right? And you didn't really dent it yet, so that might count against you. The fourth one is utilization ratio. So let's say you have a couple of credit cards and you generally use about $1,000 every month as an ongoing basis, but you pay it off every month. However, that $1,000 still counts towards your utilization ratio because that's how much running balance you're carrying. So you take that 1,000 divided by the total limit and that's your ratio. You want that to be as small as possible. On the flip side, if you're carrying a balance and you're paying interest on a balance and you pay, let's say, the minimum all the time, the total amount of used credit divided by how much credit you actually have would be your utilization ratio. Of course, I don't recommend paying any kind of interest on it because that's just wasting money. The fifth thing is that if you forget to pay a payment anytime within the last 7 years, it's going to get recorded in your credit report. So if you ever forget one, really try to get it removed from your credit report. I would recommend calling your credit card and seeing if they would forgive you on that, waive the fee. It could be because maybe your statement was in the mail, it was missing, and maybe they would do something and work it out with you if you're a very good customers of theirs. The sixth thing that could work against you is carrying a balance across a lot of credit cards. That is something you also want to avoid doing. The seventh thing is too many hard inquiries. If you've applied for car loans, whatever loans, credit cards, all those would generate a hard inquiry and they would appear in your credit report. So when you're trying to get a good credit score for whatever reason, try to minimize the number of hard inquiries. Okay, those are the things that will affect your credit score, but you might wonder, okay, what do I do now in order to fix my credit? How do I improve it? What steps do I take to improve it right now? What I can tell you now is just go get a free credit report. I'll put a link down below in the video description. And just grab one, wait for it to come. Make sure that if you go out and try to find your own free credit report, you don't pay anything for it because it's supposed to be free. You don't have to give your credit card information or anything like that. those are just scams and they just want to earn money off of you. So just go get the free one from the link I supplied down below. Okay, what do you do when you get your credit report? I got one right here. It's 22 pages long, and out of all my credit history stuff, the section where it has all my credit history is about 10 pages long. What I would do is just comb through the whole report and read every single line very carefully. Make sure you understand where each credit comes from. Sometimes the name might be a little strange and you might not recognize it, but make sure you pull out all your credit cards, okay? Every single one of them, and match it to a line from somewhere in your credit report. Sometimes the name of your credit card might change, so you might have to watch out that maybe that card actually changed to a different name card and they didn't inform you. If you didn't use it for a long time, they might not tell you this, and that they changed their name because you haven't used the card, so they're not sending you a statement or anything. Actually, the account number might also change because they changed the name, they changed the account number. So all in all, just make sure you match up every single card and to every single line on that credit report, and make sure you know where it's coming from. It might be a student loan or credit cards or anything. Just make sure you know where every single line comes from. Okay, so now you have combed the whole thing. What do you do now? If this is your first time doing it, you're probably pretty likely to find at least one error. So if you find an error,